Hello and good afternoon. This is my topic proposal for the third essay in our series that has to deal with Big Island sustainability. And my chosen topic is, drumroll please, sustainable fishing practices around the Big Island of Hawaii, including other Hawaiian islands and waters, essentially all throughout the archipelago. So we can get right into it. I want to talk about long lining practices and specifically pelagic species of fish that are being collected through various methods. These fish take a very long time to grow, and we're harvesting quite a few of them for how long it takes these species to mature. So one of the side effects that these different methods of fishing have are bycatch and destroying underwater ecosystems through that, and physical devastation of structure that fish rely on to survive. These marine ecosystems are very delicate and they can be hurt very easily. Bottom trolling is one of these methods that is sometimes used to collect pelagic fish or deep sea fish, and it has a particularly high amount of bycatch. Another fishing technique that has proved pretty problematic is inshore gill netting, specifically of the nearshore jack species like umilu or blue trevally and ulua or giant trevally. And these fish require very specific conditions to spawn and are very reproductively sensitive. And lately these fish have been on a lot of pressure already, and their commercial capture has led to their numbers declining rapidly, and it hurts the ecosystem to lose that particular apex predator. It gets replaced by other fish, or it creates a lot of imbalances with predator fish and prey fish. According to the NOAA Species Index, swordfish take a minimum of 5 years to reach sexual maturity, or at least the ones that we target in the Pacific Ocean do. This is a very long time for a fish to mature, and harvesting fish at such a rate where they can't reach sexual maturity leads to declines in their population. So the North Pacific swordfish, the one that is harvested most commonly, is actually, according to the Fisheries and NOAA Species Index, an okay fish. But the rates at which it's being consumed and the methods that are used to capture this fish are actually detrimental to the environment, despite what it may say. This is a valuable source to me in refuting my own argument, and it also has some very important details in there that will help me support it. According to an article published by the Natural Science Collection regarding yellowfin tuna populations in the South Pacific, the tuna is by far the most heavily fished creature in the ocean, with an annual catch of 1.5 million tons. It's safe to say that removing this many apex predators from the ecosystem is incredibly destructive. What does this mean for local Hawaiian fisheries and target species that we go after here, like the tuna and like the ulua and these other species that are culturally important but also important as food fish? Well, it means that local fisheries need to focus on quicker growing species instead of the ones that are currently on the decline. They need to not export these fish that are being caught, like tuna and swordfish, to overseas markets in Asia. The fish should be consumed in Hawaii on a smaller scale. This will help boost the economy. And the methods should focus on avoiding bycatch. This essentially means phasing out passive fishing methods and replacing them with hands-on methods like rod and reel fishing or spear fishing. These methods are very specific. They're very, very targeted, and they lead to avoiding bycatch. This isn't something that is outlandish or not feasible for local consumption specifically. There are kayak fishermen in Hilo who fish on a commercial scale. And the fish that you can see over to your left, I'm sure you're familiar with it, the mahi-mahi, is considered one of the fastest growing pelagic fish in the ocean and is already a popular food fish. It's a great alternative to these slower growing pelagic species. So these are the sources that I'm planning on using. This one has to do with the reproductive biology of yellowfin tuna. And this article goes into great detail regarding the harvest of the fish and what kind of impact it's having on the reproductive cycle and why these fish are on the decline. And it's also revered. This is from Mikuni. Sorry about that. This article talks about the spillover of commercial fishing into protected areas and how the spillover is reducing populations and how the numbers are saying this, not just reports of seeing fishermen in other areas. And this helps support the fact that there is a problem. It doesn't matter if these fisheries are fishing in a way that they claim is sustainable. It doesn't matter unless they're avoiding the areas that they're not supposed to be in. This is a .org published by the longlining and commercial fishing industry in Hawaii, but it goes into great detail on the different methods of fishing that they use and where they're fishing and for what species they're fishing for. And all this information is very valuable when talking about the particular topic. This article talks about bycatch during longlining operations, specifically that of birds, and how it affects populations and why the fishing technique is very destructive. All right, thank you for your time. I look forward to hearing back and getting some feedback. Have a good evening.